Hello, let's play Connections for Monday, August 17th. But first, reveal our dad joke of the day and this day in history. What did one toilet roll say to the other toilet roll? People keep ripping me off. All right. And what do you think happened on August 17th, 1945? Indonesia declares independence from Dutch rule. On August 17th, 1945, Indonesia declared its independence from the Netherlands just 3 days after the surrender of Japan, which had occupied Indonesia since 1942, ended in World War II. Ooh. It would take 4 more years of negotiation for the Dutch fin what the heck? It would take 4 more years of negotiation for the Dutch to finally relinquish the colony. Independence came in 1949 after sporadic and heavy fighting between the guerrillas and colonial troops. With the ratification of the Hague Agreement in November, the Dutch had ruled Indonesia for nearly 350 years before formally transferring political sovereignty to Indonesia on December 27th, 1949. Today, Indonesia officially celebrates August 17th as its Independence Day in honor of its initial declaration in 1945. All right, and I'd like to thank the following members for starting a new month. Thank you to Commuter Mike, Libby Eilbert, Michael Rincon, and Nate Carlock. Thank you for your continued support. All right, let's play Connections. We're finding 4 groups of 4. We've got Macro, Meat, Dolly, Doggy, Zoom, Cattle, Fisheye, Script, Willie, Birdie, Patsy, Function, Huddle, Formula, Johnny, and Teams. Okay. I was wondering about Doggy, because usually Doggy has 2 G's in it. Is that something else then? Dogie? A Patsy is someone who's like naive, I suppose, or not even just naive, but like the I don't know what is a patsy. It's a negative description of someone who some form of naivety and falling for things. I think, right? Or is it someone who follows someone blindly? I don't know. I don't think we're using the definition of it. I don't see anything else that would mean that. I mean, it starts with Pat, which is a name. I mean, it starts with Pat, starts with Will. I mean, Johnny is just a nickname, but it does start with John. I don't know. I feel like we have a lot of like diminutive names like Willie, Johnny, Dolly. I don't know, but Dolly Parton, I don't think. Is Dolly a nickname for Dolly Parton, or is that her actual name? I feel like I haven't heard her called anything but Dolly. Okay, a macro and a function and a formula are similar ideas. Maybe a script. This is like programming stuff, right? Just a way of programming like a piece of software. I don't know. Is that going to be blue or is that going to be yellow? I don't know if they're expecting people to know these things. I'm going to mark it blue for now because it's a bit of a trivia, and that's all going to depend on what the other categories end up being. Meet and Zoom are just like online, yeah, huddle. Like you're gonna have an online meeting. Teams, huddle, Zoom, meet. It could be like a verb you'd use, like let's meet, let's Zoom, let's huddle, let's Teams. I'm gonna make that yellow for now. All right. Fisheye is a kind of lens. I don't see other lenses. A dolly would be camera related as well, though. Birdie is gonna be, you know, I mean, birdie in golf is -1 score, but I mean, this starts with dog, this starts with cat, this starts with fish, and this starts with bird. Like that feels like that could be purple, and then that does leave us with diminutive names, I think, which would be green with my current coloring. Dolly, Willie, Patsy, Johnny, just like diminutive nicknames. All right, now I have to decide the colors. I do think that this is going to be purple because it starts with. All right, starting with pets. There we go. And then, so I got to erase the ones that are still purple, and we got to fix their colors, but maybe I won't fix their colors. Uh, do we want script function formula and macro to be blue still? Honestly, I think so. Nope, spreadsheet features, and it was green. All right, well, does that mean that Zoom Meet, Teams, and Huddle is going to be, or maybe the nicknames is, I don't know, is the nicknames blue? First names of country music legends. Oh, so it's not even diminutive nicknames. I did mention Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Patsy. For some reason, my brain's going to Patsy Cline, but I don't know country music very well, so it could be a different Patsy. I don't even know who Patsy Cline is. I'll look it up after I log this in. I don't like looking things up before I finished. Video call platforms. I had basically finished, though. All right, so I swapped green and blue this time. And I'm going to look up, first of all, who is Patsy Cline? Patsy Cline, American singer. Did I get it right? Influential vocalist, 20th century. One of the first country music artists actually cross over into pop music. So I think it is Patsy Cline. Okay, I actually got something right. I was pretty convinced I was making a fool of myself there. All right. Let's look at the difficulty they gave it. I don't think it was very hard today. We're having a Zoom meeting with our pets. That's funny. Yeah, they get 1.8. I think we're going to have a very high solve rate today. 79%. That's not as high as I thought, to be honest. 40% made no mistakes. There's not a single category where you're like, oh, people aren't getting that. It's extremely even. So it looks like people who lost got nothing. 7% got nothing. And then there's a weird spread here. 4% only blue, 2% yellow, 2% yellow green, and then 2% blue purple. That's pretty interesting. I don't know that there's a crux here. There were, I would say that there were trivia categories. Okay, so let's talk about this. There's, what are we calling these? Domain specific knowledge of the spreadsheet features and the video call platforms. That is domain specific. A lot of domains use them, but they are domain specific. And then we've got trivia, first names of country music. And then we've got purple being purple, right? Not every player is recognizing that you should look for starts with ends with. And so there's always a group of people who aren't finding purple. All right. Maybe there's some group of people who thought this feels too easy and like avoided certain categories, which happens. All right. So we did have a camera. There was a camera category, which was actually a rainbow herring. Macro, dolly, zoom, and fisheye are all camera related terms. Okay. Putting function in, meet function huddle teams. Interesting. Just thinking it was like a gathering rather than the specific apps. So you wouldn't put Zoom in there. Birdie, maybe just not knowing all the first names, and so you put Birdie in because that's a kind of a name. Maybe thinking diminutive names. Macro, zoom, fisheye, function. Trying to find the camera terms and not quite getting all of them. Not getting dolly. Same thing here probably. Macro, zoom, fisheye, birdie. All right. So people did yellow first, blue first, purple first, green first, rainbow herring first, and then other versions of the rainbow herring. All right. Well, how'd you do?